Here we go! Hi guys, here we are, Friday Design Talk. And this Design Talk, as you know, it's going to be part 2 of the precedent live video that I made Wednesday. Part 1 of about scholarship and how we prepare the project for a scholarship based on a project briefing that we get. So first of all, how are you? I hope you are fine. We are 6 now. Just let's wait a little while that more of you will get here. And as you remember, the first video was dedicated about the general information that there is around this project brief for a scholarship. I've tried to give you some people here saying hello, hi Divyam, ciao Kartik, and I gave you an idea more or less how you can organize yourself to understand how you have to start this briefing, this project, okay? Starting of course from the briefing that comes from the school. And the most important thing is to understand how you get that type of information and how you process that information at your own advantage. So understanding that briefing and then acting after that briefing. Edoardo Baruzzo, ciao, buon pomeriggio, grazie per il maestro, ma il maestro è solo uno, si chiama Giorgetto Giugiaro. Pranget, ciao Pranget, how are you? So, today, I would like to spend those 30, 40 minutes with you trying to stimulate a little bit your questions, about the scholarship project. Because when I explained to you how you had to make your research, how you had to read your briefing, how you had to search for the keywords that will tell us more or less about what we have to work on which we have to work on, then you have to make a research. And then from that research, you get lots of informations that can be very, very useful to you to understand more the context. And then we said that from the context, we go to the scenario, the macro scenario in which the project will be developed, for which will be developed. Then you have to choose a target client, okay? That was what basically marketing people would give us, okay? The target client of reference, so that we know for who we are making the project, okay? So if you want to ask questions about this, you can just start writing, and I am here to answer to your questions, trying to help you to understand a little bit more about your doubts, okay, of making this project, to develop this project. One thing I can tell you already, that a key value of project is always creativity. So when you will start making the project, you have to understand that you have to think how creative you have to be in order to use the right creativity for that project in that specific context, okay? So that the two things have to go together, all right? For example, I'll give you an example. If it's asked a project for the year 2030, you cannot make you cannot exercise a creativity on your project that is like today's car or today's vehicles, or maybe restyling of today's vehicles, because 2030 is far, it's 8-10 years. Therefore, a design school that is launching this type of project, it's waiting for really good ideas, and therefore for really good creativity. So you have to understand that you have to work on your creativity. Once you get all the information, then you really have to think, how to make this. Now, how do we understand how to manage our creativity in order to make something that is not a flying object for Mars, or for the moon, and not a very traditional vehicle or something that is done already today? Well, one thing you can do is you make another research, and you can do this on Pinterest and Google also, basically on internet, and you can go and check all the recent past school projects that have been done for masters, for final presentations, for final portfolio presentation. Go on Coroflot and check portfolios and see how other students that got to a very high level developed their projects in their portfolios, because there you find lots of interesting things. You can find those also on Instagram. And then you have to understand, you have to pick up the references that, according to you, to your taste, to your culture, to the way you want to make this project, those references that can be a very good inspiration as a starting point for you, with which you can measure yourself with your creativity. Okay, so creative, we have to be creative, and design schools is there to give you all the tools to push you to be more creative. Okay, because the better we know how to sketch, the more creative we can be, because we know how to exercise the creativity on paper, because we know how to sketch. Okay. Ciao Isaac, Behance has a lot of projects. All right. Yeah, Behance has a lot of those projects. It's true, and Behance is a very good website, because there you find also a lot of good things. And when I was talking about stimuli, those are stimuli. No, those are images that can show you a little bit the way. It's like a little bit like when our director that is introducing a new project is saying, those are the pictures of what we are doing today. Those are the pictures of the photos that our competitors are doing. But don't forget, we have to do this for the next 10 years. So this is the list of technology. We have to create something new. And when we want to create something new, we have to also think about a new design philosophy. I often talk about design philosophy. And you have to create the design philosophy. And the design philosophy is part of the storytelling, of course. Okay, it's reinforcing your storytelling. So I ask you in a very simple way: when you are when you are I don't know, sketching a car, okay, you're making a project, you are thinking, I am sure you are thinking, how the people will use that car, how those people will feel, that car, the type of relationship they will have with the car. And today, because of technology, the relationship, it's not anymore just I have a beautiful car, I go there and I drive and I'm very happy and proud of my car. It's too simplistic. It's a lot more. I don't. Eduardo is writing. I don't know if it's something related to this project, but how important are the grades, for example, in high school to enter school, like IED or IAAD? But Eduardo, I have to tell you that the grades are always very important. Of course, if you go with very low grades, it's not very nice. But in those schools, what it's really important is that you pass high school, okay? That you get your diploma. Therefore, it's okay, no big deal. But when you apply for a scholarship in which there is money involved, in that case, the school records, grades, are more important. Last time we were saying that the IED and IAED, they go for grades at a medium high level, okay, for scholarship. But in the case of applying for a master or for a bachelor, what is very important is, of course, that you have been promoted and you have your diploma, your license. You're welcome, Isaac. Okay, so let's think about this philosophy. The relationship. Let's talk about the relationship between us and our future car, or the car of the future. Now we know that, for example, if I take my telephone, I can ask my telephone to do things for me without using my hands. We have Siri, for example, okay? And via Siri, we can just talk. It's a voice command, okay? And the telephone will act, okay? And then I can do other things. Now, the same thing today, it's in domotic, which means in the technology that are inside a house. I can walk in the house and the lights will go on because it has been programmed. I can ask to Alexa, for example, to put my music of, I don't know, rock music, and Alexa will go and search directly in the rock music list that I pre-recorded or that Alexa will make for me according to my taste. Or I can go and to the TV. There are some TVs where I can just, with the gest of my arms and my hand, change channels. I have also the opportunity that when I get in my house, there is a welcome message, vocal or with music, done by Alexa that knows that I am back home. And in the car, in some concept cars, we have a sort of Alexa also that can welcome the person, the owner of the car, or the driver of the car. Now, if we take that concept, you can imagine how to use that concept in a wider range, in a wider way, and create a real life experience, a real relationship between the human being and the machine, done in a way that the machine behaves a little bit like a human being. For example, imagine that I'm in the car, I'm driving, okay, and I am in 80 kilometers area, and I'm going to 90 kilometers per hour. Then the car can tell me in a very nice way, hey, Luciano, what are you doing? Lower down, because this is 80. Don't forget you risk to get a ticket. Something like that. But if this is already possible, because it's just a program, then you have to understand what happens emotionally when I am inside an interior in which I don't have to use anymore my hands, my eyes, controlling and checking all the instrumentation, because the machine is doing for me and is also telling me, be careful. So I can drive and I'm tired of listening to a certain type of music, or I want to change channel because I need the news or the traffic info, and then the car will do it for me. I want to change color of the light ambience of my car because I'm changing the music, because I want to be in a more relaxing environment. So when we have those type of technologies, so when we are making this sort of hybridization of technology, because we are mixing technologies, okay, the interior doesn't have to be exactly the way we are doing cars today. Because what I'm describing, it's almost like when I am home. And in my house, I have a different type of design environment. I have furniture, I have lights, I have an atmosphere. I have a particular type of atmosphere and technology that I'm using to stay at home much better. Hi, present. Ciao. So, you understand that also the interior design of the car can be different. Maybe it can feel more like home, which probably it's better for the future generation, because the future generation will be less attached to the fact that the car it's a machine that has to go 300 kilometers an hour, and we are like drivers, Formula One drivers or pilots, and we feel all this is a type of culture that little by little is ending. It's shifting to something else. And assuming that, we have to predict how really it's going to be life inside a car, from the interior to the outside of the car. Eduardo, is it better in these cases to work using existing technology in peculiar ways, or to invent completely new ones? No, you can use existing technologies, as I said last time in video part 1, and you have to make a research about those technologies to understand what is the evolution of those technologies for the years to come. And then you pick up the part that is more interesting, which is the futuristic one, and then you can use that one, saying that this technology will be optimized in 10 years. Therefore, you don't use the technology the same way it is today. But because you studied what companies are doing on that type of technology for tomorrow, then you can anticipate that on your car project, on your project. Syed, ciao, sir. Are you aware of the regional scholarship offer in Italy, and whether Yed or Yad can take advantage of those? Yes, that's what we're talking about, Syed. If you check video number 1 that I made on Wednesday, this video it's for scholarships, okay? How to make a scholarship project based on a given briefing by the school. So in the video number 1, if you didn't see it, I encourage you to go and check it out after I finish here today, so that you can see how I explain all the design process to adopt, more or less, to make sure that you are guided into the right rails to develop the project. And today, as a part 2, I would like to go a little bit deeper in what is the philosophical design way of making that project, thinking always about creativity, about how creative you have to be, because at the end you have to offer very good creativity in the project execution. You can be very good in skills, drawing, but if creativity is not there, then the project will risk not to be taken, So both things go together. Now, I would like to give you an example, just so that you can think about it. Do you remember the company Boston Robotics? The American company is making all those new robots that are dancing, jumping, all that stuff. Now, do you remember 10, 15 years ago, the robots from this company? They were looking like really machine that were already doing a lots of interesting things instead of people, in the place of people. And that time you were looking at those robots and saying, wow, did you see what they can do? It's incredible. Can you imagine if those robots will look more like a human being? Well, today, after 10, 15 years, we have the dog robot. We have the ones that resemble a little bit to human beings, but they have the same agility. They can jump, they can run, they can do a lot of things, they can dance. So when you look at that, you have exactly a very good example about how a machine programmed by man, okay, has changed and has evolved in 10 years with the technology and design to become something even better and closer to us. So that's a very good example. And that's a little bit what you should do, Sayed, no sir, there are regional scholarships given by the Italian government to cover cost of living, be there only for public schools. Then those ones I don't know. I'm sorry, Sayed. In this case, no, I don't. If it's the case, yes, but it's probably for people that cannot pay for school. They have to show the family economical situation to demonstrate that they need the help, they deserve the help, and if they are eligible, the government will give money, but not the school. I'm talking about school, private school scholarship. That's different, you know, because that one is based on a design project, and design project is has to be made because of briefing, okay, that is given by the school. Okay, all right. So I hope I was clear about this way of reasoning. You know, the way you have to move on your steps to make sure that you approach the scholarship project from the right vision. You know, from the right angle. You're welcome, Sayed. Okay. Do you have any questions? If you have questions, please write it down. I will answer to your questions. Just in case it's not referred to, is not referred to scholarship, it's okay. I will answer to you anyway. Don't worry. Now it is 5:30 here, and I think that in 5-10 minutes I will be over, and I will be wishing you a very good weekend. This time we have the MotoGP, don't forget, this Sunday. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I can only tell you that another example you can follow, it's the evolution of the telephone. You know, yeah, I was a kid that we had the big telephone with the numbers. You know, we had to put our finger inside the rotor and look at the right number, and then we had this big thing, you know, to answer the to the phones, to the phone call. And look what we have today. We have just a little piece of glass and metal or plastic, depending who is making it, and it's an incredible change. And that's the evolution of a technology that provokes the evolution of design. Therefore, there is a technology and creativity together. Eduardo, do these schools look at the background of someone applying for scholarship, or they decide only based on the project? I think they decide on based on the project that's being presented. Okay, and after that the project has been between quotes, okay, accepted or chosen for the final selection, then of course there will be probably other paperwork that have to go together to make sure that all the requirements are met. But in this case, I would say the project, because I remember when I was at the Institute of Design, the chairman, and there we had the first scholarship. I chose three students between many that sent their project based on the project execution. Yeah. So that was the first one, and all three were taken. So at that time, I'm talking about 20 years ago, but that was the very beginning of scholarships in design schools in Italy. Okay, and was like that. And I think that today is still very similar. Present. Hello, sir. I have sent a mail on Wednesday. Kindly check it out after the live. Okay, I will check it. Drain 29. Ciao, sir Luciano. I've sent you a DM you Instagram. I hope you see it. Okay. After I will go and check. I didn't see it because I've been working until 30 minutes ago, and then I organize myself for the live, so I didn't have the time to go and check my telephone. Okay, Eduardo, how can I get a feedback about my sketches from you? Eduardo, it's very simple. You can send a couple of your sketches, JPEG images, to my chat on Instagram. Okay, if on Instagram you have different name, just tell me, hi, this is Eduardo. You can write in Italian, I will understand very well, and then I will look at it and I will give you my feedback. And if you want to learn how to sketch with me, I have an online course. I don't know if you know. Okay, I have 1 day available. So if you guys would like to have the online course with me, there is a small cost, of course. You can contact me also on the chat on Instagram, and I will tell you the day. Okay, I used to have yesterday 2 days available, but one has been taken this morning. So I have only one more available, 2 hours a week. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Dwayne. Then there is also another thing, Eduardo, just in case you are not interested in this online course, but you would like to have a sketching cars guide, like a tutorial ebook, I made one. And for my aficionados to YouTube, I'm giving it at 7 years instead of 15. Okay, for that I need your email. I will tell you how to PayPal me the 7 years, and I will send to you via email. It is in PDF format, 75 pages, from the first early basic shapes sketches that with which I teach the fundamentals of design, of sketching, until cars, interiors, exteriors, illustration, and few Photoshop tutorials. Okay, so that you can see all the how can I say, the media you should learn how to use: markers, pencil, color pencils, chalk, all those techniques, and how to mix them together, how to make a background, what does it mean to organize an illustration and a composition on page to sell really well your projects. You know, all that stuff is in the it is in the ebook. Okay, so just in case, you can tell me in the chat on Instagram. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Well, if there are no other questions, for those that are applying for the scholarship, I really hope that with those 2 videos, I help you to understand a little bit better 2 things. First, how you have to organize yourself once you receive the briefing, okay, of the project. Second, how you have to think about the project in terms of philosophy, because there is the contest, the client target, and of course what you have to do to make sure that those clients in 2000, I don't know, 40 will be very happy to buy the product that you have designed according to the briefing that you received. You're welcome, Eduardo, prego. Okay, and don't forget that next Wednesday we will be here. We go back to sketching. So if you're interested, Wednesday I'll be here from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as usual. And now it's time to get a little bit of music to say ciao ciao, bye bye, thank you, have a good weekend, and see you next Wednesday. Put your likes. If you are new, follow me, follow this channel, follow me on Instagram. Luciano Bove 1. Ciao!